I am going to share my screen. Okay, yeah. So again, we are going to be talking about accommodation and applying for residence permit. Uh, and we are going to, so this is what we're going to discuss. Before accommodation, housing information, termination period, residence permit information, and we'll also have um, other information specifically maybe for exchange students that we will discuss as well. So before arrival, what is an accommodation application form? Well, this application form will show how much accommodation we need to reserve for you all. So the application form is open for you to fill out on our website. We will send you the links to them with the email this week. The reason why we can't put the links on here is because there is a specific application form for degree students versus exchange students. We just want to keep track of who is who. So that is why we have not put the QR codes up here. But if you are living in Sweden already and you have a personal number, please apply to the housing companies directly as a Swedish student, since we mainly deal with students who do not have a personal number. That is if you don't know what a personal number, then we can house you. So yeah, and if you need a residence permit to enter Sweden, you will be placed once in the apartment, or you will receive your offer letter once you have received your permit. So you will email us at our accommodation email, which Veronica has shared, and we can also um, share that in the chat as well. But we can only place you once we know that you are able to arrive to Sweden. So if it starts getting around the 15th of January or the start dates, and you haven't received a placement because your residence permit, don't worry, we will still have accommodation open. Just keep us updated in your residence permit process. And this is, yeah, only for EU or non-EU and non-EEA students. So if you're EU and EEA student, you're fine. You don't need to prove that you can enter the country. We do get questions about family placement. Unfortunately, at the moment, um, we cannot guarantee housing for their families. We don't even place families because they're not considered students, since the housing companies reserve student accommodation for not just international students, but Swedish students, so they need to prioritize students over their families. So if you want your family to be placed in an apartment, you will need to contact the housing companies directly, and we can have that information in the email, just which housing companies are in Trollhättan. And so our arrival date is, this is important since we do not have a break in between terms. So we have students still staying in accommodation until the very last day. So unfortunately, we wish we could have a break, but this is just how it is. So please, we recommend that you arrive when your housing contract starts, since you will have a place to stay when your housing contract starts. So this will be on or after January 12th, but you will know your arrival date when you get your offer letter, or not arrival date, but your move-in date. You can always arrive before your housing contract, but you cannot stay in your apartment before your contract starts. So, yeah. And so before arrival, placement of students will go from November 20th to December 15th. If you still haven't received something by, December 1st, don't worry, we are still placing. It just takes some time because we need to verify. And also we are sending a bunch of emails out to students. So um, don't worry about that. And you will receive an offer letter from accommodation at hv.se. If you do not respond in the 48 hours, you will lose your space and be put on the wait list. If you decline the offer, you will also lose your accommodation place as well and be put on the wait list. You can't pick and choose where you want to be. We only move people in extreme circumstances with safety and health issues. So yeah, but usually people get where they want to go. You can always put a preference in your accommodation application and we can try to meet it, but it's not a guarantee. And so the contracts will be sent digitally directly from Hammer Nordic and ADAR, the two housing companies we work with. And then you can see what your contract entails and all the more details regarding your accommodation and also payment instructions. So again, so November 17th is the last day to apply for accommodation with the university. You will receive an email again with the links. And so please check your emails so you don't miss out on this. And if you don't receive an email by or after this week, please email us at accommodation and we can send you the links if you feel like you have missed it. But we are trying to send out all the information soon. We will answer questions after the information so we don't, we can get through this. But please keep your questions in your mind or write it down. And you can also write it in the chat as well if you have any questions. I think that's the best way to do it. And so if you want to know more about our accommodation information, you can scan our QR code here and it takes you to the website with what accommodation we offer, the rents, and yeah, and even some photos. So and also the rules. So a bunch of information. We didn't want to just copy and paste it from the website because I think it's more valuable to have you look at our website with this. So yep. So housing information. So it is a furnished guarantee now. It's not just a possibility. So this includes a bed, table, chairs, cooking equipment, plates, and cutlery. There is a communal laundry room in each accommodation, so you will have access to free laundry, but you just have to book it in advance. These are our current housing options, Lot Monavegan 38, Blovingen, which is in Lot Monavegan 100, Huerdetrescon, which is close to Lot Monavegan 38, Naftaratsvägen 3 and 5, Järnvägsgatan 17, and Elefanten. So those are what we currently, what the university directly offers to students at the moment. And the rent is estimated between 3,500 crowns to 8,000 crowns a month. Housing company again will confirm with you via contract. But we will also, in the offer letter, we will tell you the estimated cost. So it gets cheaper or it gets more expensive depending on the location and if you want to be alone in your apartment and the size. So we have the cheapest apartments are shared spaces. So like you have a shared bedroom, not just a shared apartment, but you are sleeping in the same bedroom as a student. And you can, in our application, it does ask if you're comfortable with that or if you would like to do that. But it is cheaper rent. But be sure when you put yes for that, that you are comfortable with sharing a bedroom with a student. And we will also connect you with your roommate as well beforehand so you can talk to them about that. So the locations of each of the apartments, they're all easily accessible by bike and or bus. Also walking. I should have put that down there too, but you can easily walk. There's some that are a little farther away, but they're close to a bus stop and there's a bunch of bike paths as well. And we also have electric scooters in Trollhättan if you want to use them as well. Just be careful of tripping over them because I know people leave them in the pathways. But yeah, and for key pickup information. And again, this is a lot of information, so we will send an email so you can like look at each bullet point and all the information at your own pace. But we just want to put this all out there and then answer questions. So you can pick up your keys from our accommodation booth near the service center starting January 12th. So this is our lovely service center and we'll have a booth right by there. This will start January 12th. We don't have the booth open on the weekends and we know that the 12th starts on a Friday. So we will pair you with a student ambassador and we can also send you messages and we can have this is why it's important for you to fill out the arrival form so we know when you're arriving so we can give you your keys. Please look at when your contract begins and that is when you can pick up your keys. Yes. And we get questions about this, the termination periods for contracts in Sweden. So please look at your agreement or contract to see your termination period. Some termination periods are 1 month, other termination periods are 3 months. And that's when you have to give us a 1 month notice for some apartments, and you email the housing company and or the university or an accommodation to terminate the contract. So if you want to terminate at the end of December, it would be good to terminate right now. So it's not just, it's like 1 month in advance. It's not like you terminate December or November 15th and it ends December 15th. It ends actually the end of December. I want to make that clear. Yep, and we're going to talk about residence permits now. Veronica, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, absolutely. I hope there is still some space left in your brains, because that was a lot of information that we just heard about housing. Yeah, but I'm gonna make a quick wrap up of resident permits. So one more time, if you are a EU citizen, you do not need to apply for a study permit. Um, Also, the application for resident permits is handled by the migration agency. The university, unfortunately, does not have a lot of influence, or not any influence at all. All what we can help you with is explaining you the process. But after you send in your application, we do not know where in the process you are. So you would have to provide your copies of your passport, the admission decision from your university. So for exchange students, that would be also your letter of acceptance. I will send that out to you today, who needs to apply for a visa. The rest of the exchange students will get their letter of acceptance later on, once you've done your course choice. Then the documents to provide that you can maintain yourself financially, your proof of health insurance, but your letter of acceptance will be enough, the one that you get from the university, since you are covered by the insurance from the university. So our insurance company is called Kammarkollegiet. You can also look that up on our website, hv.se. There you can find the different insurances for exchange students, for EU students, and for fee-paying students. Yes, and you have to make sure that you're able to pay your permit application fee via a credit card is easiest. Okay, could we switch to the next slide, please? Great. Okay. Now I have to move the Zoom because all the windows are in the way. Okay, here we go. The maintenance requirement that I mentioned before, that you have to have on your bank account when you apply, and you have to prove that you have that money on your account, is 9,450 crowns per month. So when you're an exchange student, you can calculate, okay, how many months will I be staying? Am I a full year student or only one semester? And same for program students, then you know your requirements. And one more time, a reminder here, whereas the university cannot see your process that you're having with the migration agency, we can try to like tell you how the process is, but we cannot help you a lot there. But we have our fingers crossed that everything is going to work out quickly, and that you will get your residence permit in time to start in time your studies. Okay. Now I would like to make a quick announcement for the exchange students. So you are an exchange student if you're coming here not studying a full program, but only one semester, or maybe a full year, but most of you, I think, are only one semester. So I would like to make sure that all of you are in Mobility in Line, and you are in the process to make your course selection. And once you made your course selection, you can get your letter of acceptance. The exception is the ones that have to apply for a visa. I will send you your letter of acceptance earlier so that you can get in the process with the migration agency. I will send you that today. But I want to make sure that everyone has access and makes their course selection. This is really important, just to have a reminder out there. And then also a quick note on the running through slides that you had seen in the beginning. They have no sound. We will switch them on one more time after the webinar once we answered all the questions. But there you can also find information about the Go In app. So this is an app where you can connect with each other. So we recommend that you download that. There is also usually a very useful conversation and information exchange happening there. And then also we have introduction days that are currently planned for the 8th to 10th of January. But as we have our arrival date after that date, the introduction days will be online. So it's going to be a Zoom meeting like this. Yes, I think that is the points that I wanted to bring up. And now we're curious to hear all the questions.
Again, you can write in the chat or you can speak or raise your hand and then we can call on you. But Hillary, you can unmute yourself. Okay, maybe we can look in the chat.
Madeline, can you hear me? Good
Oh,
morning.
yeah, yes, now I can
Yeah.
hear you. Yes, I
Thank
can
you
hear.
very much, Veronica and Madeline.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm thanking you. I said Madeline and
Yep.
Veronica. I hope I got the names correctly.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
have, yeah.
Did I get your name correct?
Yes, Madeline is my name. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
of course.
Yeah, I'm Hillary from Nigeria. I tend to come with my family, so I want to find out how to get an accommodation for myself and my family.
Yeah, so we will send an email after this webinar with all the landlords within Trollhättan, because I recommend that you start looking right now, because there are private landlords and then ADAR is a more public landlord. But if you talk to them now, because it is a few months, I think you might have a better chance at getting accommodation. But for your whole family, the university can't place them, unfortunately, with the agreements we have with the housing companies.
It's all right. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Secondly, the comprehensive health insurance, I understand that I don't need it.
No,
The university have paid for me.
Yes. So all you have to do when you apply for
But
the
do I need
resident,
for my family members?
this does not cover your family members, so you will need to look up health insurance for them. So this only covers you.
So how do I apply for that now?
So there are travel insurance that you can look up, but unfortunately the university can't. We at the moment we do not know of any insurances specifically, but I recommend you look up international health insurances that can help your family.
Shortly, going up.
Yes, and
Okay,
also, are you going to
the
be
last question.
setting
Last question. The going up requested.
a going?
The going up.
Yeah.
How?
Sorry, you're
Going
getting.
yeah, they requested the code for my.
Oh, they requested a code.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Sorry, you're
Okay.
breaking in and out.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Just a second, Faison.
University West code, the code for University West. The going up requested it, and I don't know it. Can you help me with that?
Yes, so
Okay,
we can.
we will check that with our colleague and send out another email with the code. Sorry, we did not know that they request a code. But
Yeah.
we'll check
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That will be all for now. Thank you. Thank you very
One
much.
second, Hillary, are you studying for 1 or 2 years?
For 1 year.
Okay, then never mind but I recommend you look into coordination numbers in Sweden. I can just write that in the chat.
I didn't get that, please. I didn't get that.
Coordination numbers. I'm gonna write it in Sweden if.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Okay.
I think, yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yes. Faison, did you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question
Yes.
that, uh, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Ma'am, how can I book accommodation? Because as soon as my visa granted, after that, I will book my accommodation. But what's the last date to book my accommodation?
So what we recommend is you apply for your accommodation through the application. We're going to send you the links to that after this. We can't share it right now, but we're going to send you the links. And
Okay.
then we will send you, so once you receive your residence permit, then we can book you for your accommodation. So there's no
Okay.
deadline to book you for accommodation. It's just up to when your residence permit arrives.
Okay. So for now, I just needs to apply. I would
Yes.
confirm after my resident permit.
Yes, of course. Yep. And you
Okay. So
email, oh, sorry.
sorry, please speak, ma'am.
Yeah. So you when you get the decision, or not just the decision, but the residence permit card, and that's what's important, because once you know you can arrive in Sweden, you contact accommodation at HV, and then we
Okay.
will give you an
So, ma'am,
offer letter. Mhm.
So, ma'am, have you any coordinator? Have you any coordinator assistant who can help us in booking or accommodation?
That's me. I'm the accommodation
Also,
coordinator. Yeah.
okay. So,
Yeah.
I have a question that if ambassador asks a question about accommodation, where you are booking and with whom you are in conversation, so what can we tell him?
You can well, usually they do not ask about accommodation, but you can say that once you have received your residence permit card,
Okay.
you can get accommodation with the university. We will have plenty of accommodation for you all, so that's not the issue. It's just getting the residence permit card.
Okay, but still, if he asks, let's say we don't know about his mode. If still he asks, is there any person? Are you the member of West University? I can
Yes,
talk. I can
yes,
discuss you. I can
yeah,
discuss you there.
yes,
So your name is. Let me please confirm this. Your name is Madeline Hoffman,
yes,
and you are working as an international officer in West University accommodation.
yes,
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
yes, yes.
So, is there any email? If I have more questions to discuss, then I can email
Yeah,
on that and then get answer.
it's
Which one is
here I
that?
can write it in the chat, but it's accommodation at hv.se.
I wrote it in the chat before, but you can write it one more time
Oh,
and we will also have that on the running slide. So it is always a little bit dependent on what you need. So if you need accommodation questions, then it's accommodation at hv.se. And if it's just general administrative things, then it's
Okay.
international at hv.se.
So please, it's my humble request. Please discuss the both. Send the both in the chat box. Then we can get from that. Then we will
yes.
get it from that.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
yeah, we
Sure.
sent it. Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much, ma'am.
Yes, of
Thank you.
course. Any other questions? We do have questions in the chat too that we can
Yeah.
read as well.
Okay.
Hi.
Then,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
hi.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. My name is Anil Kumar. I'm from India.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I have some few questions regarding this university. See, I got a admission offer on the 22nd of October last month. Okay. So on 27th of October, I have paid the tuition fees.
Mhm.
So my amount is debited from my account. It's a shift wire transfer. So till now, I didn't receive any confirmation from the university. Do you have any idea about this?
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
So our economy department deals directly with that. So if you just email us at international@hv.se, we can ask them for a receipt if you haven't received it. But I know it takes a few weeks for the money to come through and for us to check it, because we have to be very careful with the money, of course.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just email us and we can ask our finance department where you are at. And please, when you email us, do you know what a T number is, or your student T number? Yeah, so your birth date and then a T and then three
Okay.
numbers. Can
Okay.
you include that also on the email so we can easily look you up?
Okay, okay.
The number is on your letter of acceptance, and it can also be a R number. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's different.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
And one more thing. So, so when should I apply for the accommodation after getting the visa, or what exactly?
So we want you to first apply. We want you to apply for accommodation as soon as possible, even if you don't have a visa yet. We will
Okay,
send out the links to that. We just can't share them since we need to know who's a degree student and who's an exchange student. So both types of students will get the same email, but with different links. So we can just keep track of how many are here. So you will get that email this week. And then our application or accommodation application deadline is November 17th. So it's
okay,
easy to apply. It takes like 2 minutes. So it's, yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So I have applied for the master's in electric vehicle department course. Okay,
Yep.
it is a 1 year course. Okay,
Mhm.
so I want to know about regarding subjects and how the professors will be there and like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we don't specifically work with the academic side of it.
Okay,
But if you email us at international@hv.se again, we can
okay.
send you to the right people.
Okay, fine, fine. That's a good answer from your end. And one more thing. So it is a 1 year course have been applied. So once the completion of a master's in a electric vehicle department, how the placement process will be there from the university? How your university will provide for the in which companies, good companies for the
So,
placement?
again, sorry, we don't specifically work with the intricacies of the
Okay,
academic part, but again, you can ask us at International and we can talk to the program manager to email you
okay.
back or to, yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
And one more thing. So, how many days of college will be there in the 5 days? In how many days the classes will be there?
Sorry, so that's up to the lectures and the professors in the program, but you will see, I know it's supposed to be 40 hours a week, including studying, that you should save for your studies, but it is up to the program manager and the course syllabus that you'll get soon. And you can also check your schedule. I think, is it like 4 weeks or 2 weeks or something on
Okay,
So
Chronox?
I think the
Yeah.
schedule is the correct one and the guarantee on 2 weeks ahead
Okay.
before programming course starts, but usually have a lot less lectures than the 40 hours. So it's maybe 20% of lectures of the 40 hours ish, I guess.
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Mm, okay, one more question, okay. So, right now here in India, the temperature will be just 20 degrees, 22 degrees in my here in India. So, how the temperature over there if it comes in January, in the month of January, the temperature,
So
how much temperature varies over there in month of January?
Well, it really depends. I guess I would prepare for something between 0 and -10.
yeah, yeah,
Minus
it
10.
is
Okay, okay, okay.
it's a little
Okay.
chilly in January.
Okay, okay, okay. That's good. Okay.
So bring warm clothes, please. Or
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
yes.
And we also have shopping malls here too that are nearby, so you can also go there to get
Okay,
heavier
okay,
clothes.
okay. So mostly can I get a confirmation from the university for the tuition fees in 3 to 5 days
Yes,
like
yeah.
that?
So yeah, if you email us, then we can do some detective work and find out where your receipt is.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Then we
Hello.
move over to the questions in the chat if that's, or is someone else asking a question?
Yes, I wanna ask.
Yes.
I wanna ask. Come on. Okay. Do we get the vacations between 2 semesters?
We do have,
So
there is summer vacation. So that is usually from the beginning of June or like
For
mid-June
how many days?
to end of August. So you have a few like 2 months, two and
I
a half
guess
months or
three,
Like 2 months of
something.
three,
vacation.
Yeah, so you
And
get
can we move back to our home country in desertification?
yeah, as long as you have a valid study permit during this time, you can travel back and forth.
Okay.
But if you move back, remember you're still paying for your accommodation in the summer. Or
Okay, any
because
accommodation is continuous paying. We can't
yes.
skip the accommodation.
No.
Okay, we have to pay for the full.
Yes.
And we have to pay for the whole 3 years of accommodation or for
Are you
in step by step.
so you pay monthly for the accommodation. You don't pay it in a lump sum. But
Okay.
you can always stop it at any time, but once you stop it, we can't guarantee that we can place you again.
Okay. If I will stop, then there is no chance then I will get back in.
There's no guarantee.
There
It
is no guarantee.
depends,
Okay.
yeah, because
It
we have
depends.
to see how much accommodation we have for each beginning of each term. So once you're out of our accommodation, then we have to give it to somebody who's arriving.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yep, yeah, no problem.
Okay,
Hi,
then we
hi.
move over.
Oh,
Okay, over to
I have one more question. So you have showed me that 9,500 Swedish crowns per month, right, for a living.
yeah.
Do you need any other extra amount for
Mm.
expenses or extra does we require over there for living in Sweden? In
I think you
mm,
can live off that in Trollhättan for sure.
okay,
Um, we just go by what Migration or the migration agency says as a requirement. We don't want to go under because you need to have that or that money in your account when you apply for your residence permit. So at least that. But you can I think you can definitely live off that in Trollhättan.
okay. And one more thing for bus travel, will the university provide any fee way off for the bus to travel in the cities?
Yeah, so if you become part of a student or part, we'll talk about this later during introduction
Okay,
days, but
okay, okay,
students get period tickets, so that's like a 1 month or 2 month or 3 month ticket, um, and you can get a discount for that, but you can't get a discount for single tickets, only for period tickets you can get.
okay, okay. Good.
But you
Okay,
can also download the app Vest Trafik to go. I can write it in the chat.
Mhm.
That's where you can see all the ticket prices and so on.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
So approximately how much the amount in the Indian currency? Approximately.
We do
Can
not know that, unfortunately.
okay, 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 okay,
You might have to look that up on your own.
okay, okay. No problem. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Please carry on. Okay.
Yep. We can.
Okay.
Oh,
Ma'am,
yeah.
please one more question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, I wanna ask, is study gap really affect the work permit? Sorry, study permit?
No. As long as you have,
Residence,
yeah. As long as you
residence.
have a. Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
The
sorry. Please continue.
the issue. So I think since you're starting in the spring, then it lasts for a year. So as long as, or the residence permit lasts for a year. So if you need to go back home for a few months, then that is fine. You just, as
Okay,
long
no,
as
I'm
you,
talking about finally I got the admission in West University. But I got the study gap of 3 years because I ended my last studies was in 2020. But I'm still studying inside the Pakistan. But still I got the gap of 3 months.
yeah,
Sorry, 3 years. So still I got the gap of 3 years because of pandemic.
yeah,
And but now I got the admission. But I'm talking, is the study gap really affect the residence permit in embassy? Embassy that make issue
no,
on this?
no, it does not.
Okay, this is not sure because that is justifiable. I'm studying in the moment, and because of pandemic, everything was disturbed, and similarly, my journey was disturbed too.
hmm as long as, again, like you can ask the embassy, since we don't know the technical parts of the migration agency process, but as long as you have a valid, I know you said you had a 3 year gap, where
Yeah.
that will not affect your new study permit because this is going to be a new one for January.
Hmm.
This is like a whole
Okay.
different case.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem.
Mm. One more question I have.
Mhm.
Okay. See, after completion of a 1 year course, how many years work permit will get? It's 2 years or 3 years.
So it depends what type of visa you're applying for. If you're doing a looking or a job seeking visa, if you don't have a work permit yet, that lasts for, I think, 12 months. But you need to get comprehensive health insurance for that. And you also need to show that you can have the maintenance requirement or you can support yourself financially during the job seeking permit. And if you do get a job, that work permit lasts for 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So immediately, if after completion of 1 year, will get the 2 years work permit?
Well, it depends if you have a job offer. If you don't have a job offer, then we recommend you do a job seeking visa if you still want to stay in Sweden.
Okay, so generally I'm saying that, for example, if you compare to US, it is they will give a visa 5 years. Okay, 2 years for the masters. After the 2 years, they will issue 3 years work permit like that. In
They
US, how the process here in Sweden after completion of a masters?
Yeah,
Mm,
so since you're so you have to apply for a work permit or a job seeking permit before your current study permit stops or expires. And that,
okay,
again, like work permits only last for 2 years or as long, yeah,
okay,
2 years, and job seeking is 1 year. That's all we know. If there's any
oh,
more technical questions, we recommend
okay,
you email migration agency.
okay,
Yep.
fine. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Hillary? Hillary? Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Madeline. Thank you very much.
yeah, no problem.
It appears I didn't get your question, your answer very well on the comprehensive health insurance. I
Oh,
am on a
mhm.
master's program for 1 year. Do I need to apply for one, or my school covers me?
So since you are a student at University West or you got accepted, that automatically covers you under
Yeah.
our health insurance, Kammerkollegiet. That does not cover your family members. That only covers you. So
Okay.
for your family members, you need to do the research on how to get them insurance. I think there's international insurances, but
Okay.
Kammerkollegiet only covers the student.
Okay, but I am covered. The student is covered myself.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much.
yep. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
That will
no
be all.
problem. Okay,
Thank you.
we can look
Okay.
in the chat now.
Yes. So regarding the send out of the recordings of this session and the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, we will send out another email to the email address that you gave when you signed up, either in Mobility Online or on universityadmission.se.
And one more question. So the university will start at January 15th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So university will arrange one meeting, right, for the international students. When that day, when will be the day, that one?
It's from the 8th to the 10th.
Oh
So
no,
there is sessions of
he's talk
January.
he's talking about on campus
Uh,
meet.
yes. Some they will arrange some day for the students to like party wise, like party like that. Something they will, right?
We will
Did you
have
got my point?
Yeah, we will have an activity January 27th, I think.
So,
It's
okay.
we're gonna have an IKEA trip and a fika, possibly with the
Yes.
fika, but
But
definitely
all the
IKEA.
social part
Yeah.
is also taken over by the student union, and you'll find a lot more information later on. So if you come to the introduction days, you will find out where the party is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So
Hello,
we got
ma'am.
a question in
Oh,
the chat. I would like to do the chat questions first, if that's fine. So then
yeah.
we can first work off the chat, but keep your
Yeah.
question. That's totally fine. Okay? Is that
Yeah.
fine with you?
Okay, ma'am.
Cool.
Perfect.
So a question in the chat. I'm a resident of Sweden. Do I have to pay tuition fee? No. So if you have a citizenship,
Or
you
a work
don't have
permit.
to, or a
So,
work permit,
yeah.
you don't have to pay tuition fee.
Yes.
Do you want me to read out the questions and you answer,
Yeah,
or
sure. Yeah.
depending on what subject
Yeah,
falls on? Okay.
exactly.
My final exam for the fall semester will end on the 15th of January. If I will be late for 1 week, will it be an issue? Okay, this is actually a question from a exchange student, so I'm gonna answer this. It's not an issue if you are late. However, consider in your course choice in Mobility Online for which courses you're applying. If you're choosing a course that is starting on the 15th of January, the course will be continuing and you will be missing lectures. I would recommend you to inform your professor for the first course in that case, then that you will be arriving 1 week later. But in general, it should not be an issue. And if you can arrange it with your course choice that you're not having that you don't have a course in the first term, then that's perfect anyway. Yes. Should I apply for residence permits before or after getting my visa?
So that's the same thing.
So,
So
yeah.
when you just want to apply for a residence permit, there's no other visa that you're applying for. We may talk about a certain visa later on, but at the moment, it's just a residence permit that you need to apply for. As soon as you receive your receipts from the university, we recommend that you apply straight away.
Okay. When can I book my flight ticket?
So this is all dependent on when you arrive or when you get your accommodation contract. So, oh geez, my laptop wants to update right now. This is not good,
Oh no.
but it's okay. So, you will, if you get your, I don't know if you're coming from out of the EU or not, but if you're coming from outside the EU, you need to first figure out your residence permit card when you get that, and then um, you also want to know the date of your accommodation start. And you'll find those two things out before the middle of December. So we recommend you wait until you get your contracts to book your flight.
Okay. You said that all apartments are now a guarantee furnished. Does this mean that the IDA accommodation that was previously listed as partly unfurnished, so Elefanten, is now also available with furniture?
So I want to make something clear here. So the university specifically has reserved apartments in Elefanten. Not all of Elefanten is reserved directly with the university or with the international office. The ones that are directly registered or reserved for the international office, those are furnished. There's other apartments in Elefanten that are not furnished. But if you get accommodation through the international office, they will be furnished. Okay.
Okay. One more time regarding the send out of the PowerPoints, you will get the PowerPoint and the recording of this, but to the email address that you gave when you registered with us. So either University Admission or Mobility Online.
Yes.
Hi, I just wanted to inquire if one can apply for extension in case the decision regarding our permit gets delayed.
So we will let you know about the arrival extension as soon as the program managers tell us, because we can't make that decision, or the international office can't make the decision on extensions. That comes directly from the program managers. So, but we will give you enough time to react. And I know we're going to be meeting with them soon about when they want students to arrive by.
Okay. Then one more exchange student. If you have exams in your home country after the 15th, that's fine. Take your exam at home. And then after you're done with your exam, you come to Sweden. And it's not going to be an issue with your accommodation. Just let us know when you arrive so that we have a student representative ready to give you the keys, and that we have your keys at the right place at the right time. Yes, and regarding missing your first week of course content, please contact your first teacher. How can we reach University West from the nearest international airport? Is there an international airport in Gothenburg or any alternatives?
Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer
I can now
that?
answer that. So we have in Gothenburg an airport that is called Landvetter, but if you just Google Gothenburg Airport, there's only one, take that one. Otherwise, you might have to go to Arlanda, which is in Stockholm, but you can take either a short flight to Gothenburg then, or you take the train from Stockholm. Stockholm is with the train like 3.5, 4 hours away. So it depends on you. If a flight might be easier when you're coming from a long flight, but yeah. Are there student jobs in the university or in the city?
So we do have student ambassador positions throughout the year. But I know we have some students who work in restaurants and cafes in the city too. You just have to ask the jobs or the restaurants. And those are part-time, so we do recommend studies are prioritized because it is like a full-time job. And then if you have time, you can definitely find a job.
Yes, and maybe also check your LinkedIn. I know the university, when there is a position for a student ambassador or so free in the university, they always publish it on LinkedIn as well.
Mhm.
Yes, and we remember the code for the Go-In app. Thanks for the reminder. Okay. I have a permit as dependent. Do I have to pay tuition fee?
So it depends what type of permit you're a dependent of. If it's a work permit, or a sambo, so like a moving to somebody permit, then you don't need to pay. But if it's a study permit, then yes, you do need to pay.
Okay. I think I've already found an accommodation on my own. Is that a problem for your accommodation rules/system?
No, that's totally fine. If you can find accommodation outside us, then you go for it. We just want to be here in case you can't find it. But yeah.
Where can we see when our courses start? I can take that if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
So your courses all start on the 15th of January. So for exchange students, it's a little bit more tricky, but so all the programs start on the 15th of January. For the exchange students, it depends on your course choice, but you know the Excel file that's on the webpage where you choose your course packages. There you can see which course runs during which time. So if you have a course during the first term there, then your course starts on the 15th. However, you can look up your schedule later on. It's not available yet because the schedules get finalized 2 weeks before the course starts. And I think the easiest is if you later on you will receive an email that you have to create a University West account. And then you do that, and then you get access to Canvas, which is a learning platform where the professors share their information, they communicate with you through Canvas, and also there they will upload the schedule. There is also another app, but I'm not going to bother you with that right now. You will find that later. But for now, it's just waiting for the schedule being finished and then accessing it through Canvas. Okay, now I check where we are. Is there any kind of scholarship for students in Sweden?
So you can look up SI scholarships, but currently we do not offer any scholarships starting in the spring.
If we are just going to do the internship, which in theory will be from February to end of May, does it matter the day we will be arriving for the accommodation, or will we be paying just the months we'll be there monthly, or do we have to pay the whole semester?
So you'll just be paying the months that you're living in the accommodation. You're not paying for the whole term, but please let us know when you apply for the accommodation that you're going to be arriving in February, so I don't give you an offer letter that starts in January. Okay.
All right. My question is, if I don't apply for accommodation, which is under the university, can I live off campus, like Gothenburg City?
Yeah, you can live wherever you'd like. This is just a support we have for international students that we offer. But if you can find other accommodation, we're not going to bar you from that. You know how you live best, so that is up to you.
Okay, this might be a question for the landlords instead of you guys, but on furniture, are we able, okay, one more time. Are we able to replace furniture that is already there, like buying our own desk, for example?
Yeah, you can always put, more furniture in your accommodation. Just you need to figure out what to do with the furniture that's there because when you move out, you have to leave it the way you moved in. So you would have to figure out storage for that furniture.
Okay, do we have a chance to choose our roommate?
When you apply for accommodation, you can write in, I think there's like an others part or more information part that you want to you have a specific person you want to live with, and we can try our best to match it, but we can't guarantee it. But we'll let you know if you want to have contact with your roommates, and then um, you guys can figure it out.
Do you have any kind of pickup facilities for us when we arrive to Sweden?
So we will have student ambassadors at the airport, Gothenburg train station, and Trollhättan train station and the university guiding you to get to the university. We do not offer a bus because um, it won't help students because if we did a bus, they would only go for maybe an hour or two a day for one day, and we wanted to reach as many students as possible in guiding them to University West because some students have gone lost on trains. So we'll have student ambassadors there to help guide you to your destination.
Okay. As a double degree student, do I have to apply for accommodation or is that done automatically? Please apply for accommodation. It's done for no one automatically. You have to fill in the form. Do I know if I will have a flatmate or do I live alone?
We will inform you in your offer letter if you have a flatmate or if you live alone. But if currently we don't have apartments that have separate bedrooms. We only have a few apartments that have shared bedrooms. So if you do have a roommate, it will be when you live with somebody else in the same bedroom. But it's not a studio you would be living in. Or some of them, or one or two of them are studios, but we do make sure that it's big enough for two people. And we will inform you before, and you can always decline it. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I get this right. Being study periodicity,
Priority,
right?
I think.
Priority. But if someone get the time for job, is there any restriction from government to do
No,
so?
no, if you get a study permit, then you can work as anybody in Sweden. So there's no job
Okay.
time
Okay.
limit or job restrictions if you have a study permit.
Okay. The accommodation application, on what platform is that done? Sorry, I missed the first few minutes today.
Oh yeah, it's no problem. We will send out an email with the application links since we can't share it to a webinar directly because there's a specific link for degree students and a specific link for exchange students, and we need to know who is who. So you will get a link this week.
Okay, and then we got a message that your area student is really excited to arrive here, and we're also
Oh,
really excited to meet you
perfect.
here.
Awesome.
Thank
Do
you.
do we have any other questions?
Yes, I have one more question.
Mhm.
So, okay, see what exactly see. I have applied for a master's in electric vehicle development. Okay, electric vehicle development course. Okay.
Mhm.
So do you have any chance to change the course to computer science after coming
So
over there?
so we can't change you to a different program. As long as it's within the program, you can change courses, but you can't change a course outside of the program you're in. So for example, if you're doing a master's in electrical vehicle engineering and then
Yes,
you want to change your course to the computer science program, you cannot do that because that's part of a
you can't, you can't
separate.
do that.
No, because
Okay.
you need to apply for that program in order. You can only
But
change within your program.
but
Mm.
who knows how you can switch around and change courses is the study counselors. You should contact them if you're wondering if you can exchange one course with another. They would